Hi everyone, this is a really short video on how scoring works in the National Field Archery Society. I've had a couple of questions about it, and chances are a lot of you probably are used to seeing these sort of things. These are some American target faces and the round balls, but in NFAS we shoot animal faces like this one. And I had a question about how you actually go about scoring these, and what I wanted to do was kind of like point out the scoring zones. So this is a raccoon, if I remember right, this is a maximal target face, and the first, you always count from the outside in, so you can see the wound line going around the animal, and that is where you actually score from. So in this case, you see the white line that goes around. You count from the outside in, so that's your wound line, that's your kill line. Alright, so for your first arrow is here, then you would score a 16 if your first arrow is there. It'd be a 20. If it was a second arrow, it would be a 10, 14, third arrow, 4, and 8. So this has got two scoring zones. It doesn't have an inner kill, and the inner kill is only relevant for a first arrow because you get a bonus 4 points if you land in it. So if we look at this one, which is an old JVD face I've just pulled in from our stores, hopefully you can see that. I'm just checking the camera. There's actually 3 lines on this one. I'm not sure how well you're going to be able to see this. Just down here you can see there's a really faint outer line, there's another line, and here just in there is an inner line. So where this one's concerned, what you have a situation where, and you can see there's an awful lot of people say animal, but it's not actually animal, it's feather, and that's outside of the actual target and the scoring zone. So this one's a good inch inside all the way around. So your first one would be your wound line, the second is your kill line, and the third one here, the circle here, is your inner kill, pro kill, whatever you want to call it. And if your first arrow lands in there, then you're getting 24 points. If your second arrow lands in there, then you score it just as a normal kill zone area, so that would be 14. Not all faces, as I said, come with this already shown, and sometimes, like the maximals I showed you a minute ago, people will go in and they will, not sure how well this is going to be able to be seen. You might be able to just see it there, somebody's drawn in a inner kill there. Fairly straightforward, so you always count from the outside in, and as you can see on this one, none of the wings count on this target. Feet don't count on the target, beak doesn't count on the target. That's fairly straightforward. However, just to make things a little bit more complicated, if we look at this delta face, which I'm hoping you'll be able to see alright, we'll just check the camera, move around, yep, you can see it. I'm just going to zoom in a little with the camera so you can just see a little bit better. Okay, so you can see that there's loads and loads of wound lines, there's loads of lines that can get really confusing. And what we work on, the principle is the outer line is still your wound line, and you'll see that there's grey and black ones, and normally unless it is marked with a Sharpie pen or a felt pen, what we would count here would be the silver line. So here you can see the silver line there, that's your wound line, that's your kill line, and just here in that sort of ovalish shape would be your 24. Just move that so you can see it a little bit better. So that would be your 24, and here would be your kill line, and that would be your wound line, but you will always count from the outside in. These kind of faces which have got the alternative scoring in there do cause some confusion, but there are hundreds and hundreds of faces out there, and general rule of thumb is the NFAS uses the grey lines and you count from the outside in. you'll notice that on paper faces you don't tend to find that the legs will count on a lot of them. So if I scroll out, zoom out again, you'll see this area here, the legs don't count. That's on the Deltas. That's not always the case. On some of the other manufacturers they do count. So that's just worth bearing in mind. So count from the outside in when you're scoring. So that's a wound, that's a kill, and that would be an inner kill, highest scoring zone. What I actually do, just as a bit of clarification, the National Field Archery produced this little guide that you can laminate up, and I blew this one up and copied it out, and it gives you the scoring zones and explains it. And then on the other side it also actually gives you a breakdown on how things work and what does count and what doesn't count. And I carry that in my quiver, and I produce little laminate ones of these for all of my students. Okay, I hope you found that useful. Take care.